Kevin, but it's not. Watch, he just avoids the contact at the line of scrimmage. The jam misses, and then the separation.
Attacking one-on-one. And if Carson's going to have to go against Brown or Smith.
He needs to be helping 21 Stevens out. That's a mismatch one-on-one in an island. He needs somebody back there to be able to help him over top. Look at Steve.
3 years of age tomorrow. Big game. 37 yards.
Yeah, he's the Chargers' leading receiver, and I was waiting to talk about.
With Alukin and Hawkinson. That's the matchup you want. You see him leave him in the dust, standing there at the bus stop, and he takes off.
Great to see him healthy. What a matchup here against the safety, Jordan Battle. Able to kind of take that up and then across against man coverage.
Coming out of the backfield, it's got Levante David on the little stutter step, and you just can't stay with him. These linebackers are so used to defense.
Rebooted kind of quarterback, waiting for his guy.
3rd and 6, and it was a beauty.
Charge timeout. Sutton on the backside, one-on-one with McDuffie.
An unbelievable catch and just as good a throw. That ball was in the air long before Cooper Kupp came out of his.
He was the old veteran. We talked about him, right? This is the old head back there. He listened to Coach, and now all of us.
10 minutes off the clock, a 9-play drive, an 11-play drive, but they've only gotten 3 points. Well, you see the top of that route by Cooper Kupp.
Involved in the run game and making big hits. But when you have a safety that can play
interior of the linebackers, he works over the middle. Simpson goes out, and that opens up the interior there.
Bateman working on Taylor Britt.
Put that foot in the ground, works the other way. He's got him. Look at Lamar. As soon as he threw it, he starts to head to the bench.
Welcome to the Steelers, Mike Williams.
And they gave him plenty of gap, meaning that space between him and St. Juste, he didn't press him.
Middle, and there's that connection, the chemistry between Jamar Chase and his quarterback, Joe Burrow.
2 big body, go up, highest point, contested catch, targets, and that's all this is.
Well, you're going to see just one-on-one. This is a timing throw, and maybe a little hand check there at the top by Hopkins.
Just throw the ball to Calvin Ridley. His speed is special, and I don't know how you thought that you were going to have Jasir Taylor.
That all the time. Big time play here to get the Lions going.
37 on that.
This is so well done because watch, as soon as he stops and snaps, the ball's already on its way. The timing and the structure.
This is not an easy catch. Wins at right off the line of scrimmage, and the ball's a little bit behind him.
Trusting his young wide receiver to be at the spot. He drives back Christian Bitford, and he just comes back and gets that ball.
First attempt of the game, trying to get him that big play down the field, coming into the.
Again, you got Pearsall on Itzian here.
Have had to move around. Darius Washington, who's a corner. He's 5'8". Gesicki is 6'5", 6'6". Gets that right hand around.
Some of the troubles that they've had this year, but this is just an individual effort. Win your one-on-one battle.
Yeah, just a great release. Watch him go inside Amadi, get him off his landmark. And then the best thing he does there, anytime versus man cover. So many levels. Brock is doing a great job extending those plays, and Kittle just working them. Get to the back of the end zone, use the body. And then what a throw by Purdy. Yeah, a little glance. They call it a short 8, so left foot, bang. So 3 revolutions of the left foot.
Well, you talked about the red zone production or lack of production the Chiefs have had against the Broncos in the
cards. Yeah, he's matched up here at the bottom of the screen with Clark Phillips. He's in for Mike Hughes, and he just runs a deep corner out, inside release, restack, and then just take it high.
And remember, they've got their 2 top receivers out, but this is the man-to-man matchup that teams just don't seem to have an answer for. Amik Robertson
Jr. in the slot. He has the entire sideline to work with. Does that ball location get any better?
It's basically a halfback seam. He's going to go up, hint at the out route, and then take it up the seam. This is so well covered by Miller. Hits him right when he needs to slow him down. And
coming from that outside spot right there, but again, it's a quick solution.
And he doesn't flinch. The fact that he stays in there so long, that's what allows McBride.
And just take a look at the route. It's all the way off to cross the other side of the defense, and that takes time. So if we're going to credit anybody to start,
it's perfect. He's got this thing wired. He's running underneath it. He's going to be Willie Mays in the catch right here. And he did everything.
This is a microcosm of really the Jets this season. Sauce Gardner, who's had some tackling issues this season, and McBride just takes him for a ride. That should be a stop.
You got to beat your man, and this is going to be easy. Watch, here we go. 85 versus 24. Run up, chop, chop. Where's the sell? You never.
Smith down, just not played well at all by the Rams. They have an opportunity. They run a receiver through that gets the linebacker Roseboom's back to Jonnu Smith, but.
Great job by Austin Hooper coming off that end of the line right there. It's just a simple route. Kyler Gordon just underneath. It's a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch.
Gets 5. You know, you've heard me talk about wide receivers and how they run routes. Well, Tutu Atwell, as he comes up the field, and he's just trying to give him a place to go with the football, and defender falls down. On the outside by Kendall Fuller and Puka Nacua. This is one of those routes that I talk about. Comes off the field, or comes up the field vertically. Beckham, knowing what he had to do to uncover for his quarterback. He starts up the field, but he knew there was nobody then. It's one thing to be a great cover guy. Rarely then do you see those guys that want to come up and play the physical side. They're going to try to clear out the corner and then bring Kupp in behind it. And he knows that there's a chance that once that's how they got Stafford out of the pocket to kind of settle things down. That's what they do with Tua here. They fake the sweep toss, get him out on the corner, and
comes down.
Plays that pretty well. It's a good
tape on this team and what they've been doing the last few weeks. But this is a different quarterback tonight. Yeah. It just is.
With Mukwamu, and I think that's probably a good decision because this was another job.
Watch this play.
Outstanding job by Diggs.
It was Goddard.
And he has it. Rodgers, look at this. It just, it bounced. What a play.
Inside. Going to go to the back pylon, and, it may not mean much.
There's a tight end or something. Nope, he's actually a wide receiver. Look at this. Could just box him out and throw it up to him if you wanted to, but look at that.
There's going to be an opportunity for them to get open here at the end of this play. You see Conklin right here and Wilson here, but it's that
somebody to the inside post to affect Branch, get him to lean a step inside and create just enough room to squeeze that one in there.
Derwin James telling us as we take one more look as he attempted to make the one-handed catch. James said Harbaugh's.
This time Max Melton has been all over it. One-on-one. And really.
Watch how patient Amon-Ra St. Brown is. Coming down, just taking his time. He knew what he had to get done. A little late move. Create that separation.
Really, there's nowhere to throw the football. You see, you got an over and under on Garrett Wilson. But by that time, Rodgers tries to get outside the pocket and in that pass rush.
He decides to throw it on a line. And another foot, it would have been a nice, easy catch. But fortunate for Philly not to have his ball just go right up into Wilson's hands right there.
Pick up 22, incredible. Yep, they call this a leak. So he comes from the front side and just kind of hides. They ran this play last week as well. Wide open, but then it's Kyler Murray under tremendous. And this time Wilson, number 14, is on the inside. Last week, both Wilson and Dortch, 0 targets. Even Marvin Harrison. Seam route versus the Jets cover 3, and he's the most reliable receiver that Kyler Murray has. This is just excellent use of the play action pass. You see, looks like the hands to the face was Sauce Gardner on number 17 right there, Zay Jones. Really brilliant coverage here by number 24, Thomas. Look at the ball placement right here. That's unguardable, but they just needed about a half-yard.
Allen thinks he has easy access as he's rolling out. And look at this catch by Kenny Moore. Catches the back end of the football, gets his feet in bounds and holds on to it. That's just one heck of a play by Mr. Moore.
Curtis Samuel's like,
we're 96. He's the free dropper. He's supposed to drop inside of any in-breaking route to get 2 on that by Joe Woods. Demario Davis, he pushes all the way out to Darnell Mooney, and then Pete Warner. He's got to carry Ray. Wide receiver group, he's the experience. He's the guy that's been in big moments, touchdown in last year's Super Bowl.
He starts out on the left side here. He's just trying to run this mid-cross, but he gets pushed upfield by DeMar Hamlin, and great patience by Joe Flacco. Back to that last spot, A.D. Mitchell is running a bench route here. It's right on time. Target in this offense. Really good throw by Josh Allen over the shoulder.
Changing the look, messing the leverage of the defenders, and an accurate ball. And
Busted catch.
yeah, only Justin Jefferson has more catches on the season of over 20 yards. It's not bad coverage. That's just a great.
I mentioned it earlier, but they don't throw to the tight ends very often. But Kroll and Troutman today have
College, his NFL debut, and he's got his first catch right here. Just barely tiptoeing the sideline.
Yeah, it's just great footwork. Ball's thrown a little behind him, but it's on time.
This is the matchup right here. Remember, you're allowed to get physical till about 5 yards. They'll give you a healthy 5.
Out Bernard Ryman at left tackle right now. He has a knee injury, questionable to return.
Number 98 is able to get his hands on it. It's a real cloudy window.
He's going to go over and then back. It's a little sail route, show the crossing route, and then get back to that corner route.
Against Baltimore. Yeah, Taron Johnson is just matched up on Josh Downs here, who is Joe Flacco's favorite wide receiver.
Man to man, you see Amadi Hughes in the slot on Darnell Mooney, the free agent signing. He's been huge. Yeah, so it's cover 2-man, 2 high safeties, so every underneath defender has to be hard inside leverage. The way they teach him is, Joe, is you want to be inside leverage and trail, be under, force that ball to be.
It has to go from here to there, all the way outside. He lines up in the A-gap. Hawkinson with an
holding on to this ball, and we're seeing him being very active early on in this game, and Josh Allen looking for.
Receiving core moves the chains, a gain of 13.
Just great. Bryce Young in the pocket to just kind of hold in there, things closing down, letting his receiver get into that second window on the other side.
The exceptional concentration by Pickens, because St. Jude sees the ball and tries to affect it with his arm.
And a spectacular catch there by Jamar Chase once again.
So they wanted to see what the defense had.
Next thing you know, Pearsall's into the defense. Saubert's clearing it out. And Purdy's so good over the middle. One of the elite strengths that he has.
When you hit a receiver on the move, it's a whole different end result. Because after the catch, now he's got momentum going.
4 yards on the catch and run.
Could not have been a cleaner look for Jaden Daniels, what they call an RPO, run pass option play. And he's able to throw it and deliver it on target and on. So when you go and watch any NFL practice, you see the quarterbacks throwing to a bucket about 30, 40 yards away, just kind of drop it in. That's that drill coming to life right there, and what a catch.
Instead, it's Wallace who ends up getting away from this defense. There's Britt, misses the tackle. Wilson with this feels that stiff arm. Safety, Geno Stone comes over late. What an effort by Tyler.
Unencumbered. And look at Pickens uncover himself deep into the route against.
Hey, let me just spit that ball out to the outside part of the field to Pierce. I wish he would just give it to Christian. And again, not that he's not open, it's his tight coverage. And again, Christensen would have loved that. He got him behind the defense, and Baker knew it on Green. Maybe he got there. And then standing in the pocket. This is when you need calm under chaos. When things haven't gone your way. When you're sitting at 4-4, trying to figure out your.
And Daniels delivers a nice ball, but Pierre doesn't give up on it. When it's a little bit short, he's able to. Jeremy Chin comes over from the deep middle position.
Really good coverage here by Mike Jackson to be able to break on the football. Gets there right.
With the defensive coordinator. You love this play. Why? You've got 2 people in coverage. That's fine. But if
you got White just on a little angle screen, get a little eye candy. Look at the catch. And then splits the defense.
Has made play after play for Washington. Rock solid.
And look at San Francisco State right with it. There's a chance, but he gets his body.
I mean, this is tough ask here. You know, you're going right into the boundary. Quick throw, fake the handoff. And he just gets around him using his.
To the outside part of the field. You can never leave the ball inside. If Hayes is more focused on the ball, he probably goes up.
Remember earlier in the game we saw George Pickens go down and slip and unable to catch the football? Nice job.
It's a simple 3-level route. You send McCaffrey to the flat. Jennings, McCollum actually makes. Jennings is a situational receiver, and when you get that stack motion, it just gives too much space. And McCollum catch him on the blitz, but it doesn't matter because he gets the ball out of his hand. And look at Kittle go up.
Move Bateman from the right to the left, just trying to create a matchup. Give a tail there to the coverage, get Lamar Jackson to understand what he has, and he actually has Bateman behind.
Lost in the defense coordinator of Pittsburgh. A lot of times they will play man-to-man on third down. Challenged them on this play. Everyone's up in press coverage, press man, and they're going to have Pittsburgh throw the
play. And it's been a weakness of this Baltimore defense in coverage, trying to locate the crosser. Look at that space. Great job from a timing standpoint. And then this is just next level. Probably the best in the league. Almost that running back skill set.
Great touch throw. We've seen this over route twice today. Up and over the linebacker where only his guy can get it.
Really good play there on third down. I don't even know if he saw the ball.
You're going to hear a lot from these rookies, and you see it. Great ball right there in the hands. Good coverages.
In coverage. Once they motion him out there, they've got him outflanked. They've got one too many receivers. Hilton stayed up tight. And once again, the Ravens are going to have to start. They're not getting a push. They'd actually brought the linebacker Simpson. But how many times tonight have we seen it? I'm going to give Stevens a lot of credit for that one.
So the play is under review. Question is, does he stay in bounds?